Hey, well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday Night Wisdom Share Sacred Practices. We have to be so formal now because we're all live on Facebook and on YouTube, so we have the camera right there. So hi, everybody out there. Normally, we don't have to be this formal, but because we've now become hybrid, we have to, have mics, and he's going to have his Madonna mic on, and so it's a whole new way of doing things. So, and it's actually been kind of cool because we're offering up in a new way. Some people can't make it, We got this new strand coming on now, you heard about, right? So people can be safe and still enjoy Peter tonight. So anyway, welcome. Of course, every night, every Wednesday, we have Wednesday Wisdom Share Sacred Practices. And each week stands on its own. We have different guest speakers and guests who share their wisdom and sacred practice. To me, that's the vision we had for this was to have everyone have an experience, when they come on Wednesday nights. So it's more experiential. So we're so excited to have Peter tonight. Thank you, Peter, for coming here and sharing your wisdom. And I can't wait to experience the sacred practice. I know you have a wellspring of insight and wisdom. And I know it says meditation challenge, so be ready. I won't tell you. You told me not to tell you what's all going to happen, so I'm not going to tell you. Okay, so next week we have the wonderful Jeff Kingfisher. Woo-hoo. He's going to be doing 7th harmonic chakra meditation. So we'll have. Are we gonna have mats out again? Bring your mats. People are gonna lay on the floor again next week, or they can sit in a chair.
Either a chair or you can bring a cushion for seated. You could lay on a mat if you want, but it's kind of easier when you're meditating to sit up. So I would suggest a cushion or a chair, either one.
Okay, so
yeah.
So we don't have to do the laying on the floor next week.
No.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. And what else would you like to say about that, since you're on the mic?
Oh, well, yes, it's
let Jeff share.
It's this 7th harmonic chakra meditation. It's very balancing and clearing, and get yourself all tuned up. It's something I've been developing over time. Every time I do it, it keeps growing and developing into something new. So I'm going to start with that, and then I'm going to end with a musical casting, so everyone can do that. The meditation also includes a lot of chanting, so there'll be a lot of chanting going on.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Oh, cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so chanting, chakra balance, so come for that, tell all your friends, and join us next week for Jeff Kingfisher. Always, I don't know if you've been, but he does an amazing job. His practices, the music, the sounds, his understanding of music and sounds and vibrations is phenomenal. So please come and join us next week. The next week after that, we have this most amazing speaker, me, or Mark. I'm going to be talking about the bell of mindfulness, and it's going to be a nice, some meditation and some mindfulness practices that we can incorporate throughout our day. I'm going to talk a little bit about neuroplasticity and how our brain literally changes with these practices, and so there's so much science now. That's out there, and I've been teaching this now for about 10 years in some of the work that I do. So I'm excited about sharing some of that with you. So of course we'll be doing a nice little meditation, little guided meditation. I'll bring some of my Tibetan singing bowls, so it'll be like a little mini sound bath. All right, and then of course I'm so looking forward to Gail Crosby coming back the last Wednesday of this month. She did a phenomenal job. If you missed it, they both stand on their own. And so she's this time she's going to be talking about the golden path. Last time she talked about integral wisdom, as above, so below. And she really helped us to kind of tap into that innate wholeness that's within all of us through this really interesting process and practices. And she has some really clear steps. And she's going to be taking us to another level of that. And but you don't have to come to the first one to experience this. So we're so happy to have her back again this next month as her part 2. So yeah, let's do a little centering practice. Let me a couple of announcements. Join us on Sundays, of course, at 9:30 a.m. for morning meditation on Sunday. And then 10:30 a.m. we have our Sunday service celebration. So, of course, every Sunday, and it's going to be Reverend Eunice, right? The lovely Reverend Eunice, who's right here in our company. So, anything you want to say about Sunday?
Our theme is around play.
It's about around play. So this Sunday's about play.
Awesome.
Okay, sounds fun. Well, I think it's going to tie in to about tonight. Yeah, maybe. I'm not saying anything. So we ask everyone to turn off their cell phones, please, and make sure they're on silent or off, so we don't have to hear that vibrate noise either. As much as possible, we try to create the perfect space to meditate, pristine place, right? So we also have an opportunity. We also, of course, support this beautiful spiritual community with our love, our tithes, our time and treasure. And so if you'd like to give an offering, if you're not here, you can give a love offering via text to give at 760-389-1333, 760-389-1333. And give any amount, and then you just type the word wisdom after your amount. And you'll get a reply back, so it's a pretty easy, user-friendly thing. So thank you so much for all your love and support for our beautiful spiritual community. So let's start with a little meditation, a little centering practice. Get settled and centered, open ourselves up to receive the wisdom, the insight, open up our hearts, our souls, our mind. Just taking a few conscious breaths now. Just take a few nice, full conscious breaths. Just feeling our body sitting or lying here in this moment right now, this exact moment, breathing this breath. And as we quiet and still our mind, we align in the vibration of peace. The peace that's always here, under the busyness of all of life and the busyness of our own mind. And as we quiet and still our mind, we align with the inner sanctuary, a place of refuge within. It is in this place that we tap into and align with the infinite wisdom that is in and through all of life, at the core and center of each of us, this innate state of wholeness. And so as we quiet and still our mind, we open up to receive now, to receive this evening's insights, wisdom, message. We throw the doors wide open to our soul to receive exactly what it needs to receive tonight. Everything is in perfect divine order. All is unfolding for each one of us in our highest good. Each one of us is on a beautiful journey of life. We know that tonight will feed our journey, that we know that each one is here on purpose this evening, the perfect combination of people in this moment, right here, right now. Each one receives exactly what we came to receive. We've created a sacred circle, a sacred space, a safe place. So in this place of alignment now, we just take a few more breaths, knowing that the divine, beloved presence is working in, as, and through Peter, and in, as, and through each one of us this evening. We let Spirit have its way this evening. We let it go. We claim it as so. And we say together, and so it is.
So it is.
All right, so I'm going to give it up to Peter. Yay.
Brilliant. Hi. I am so excited to be here as a new member of this community, and I'm just very grateful for that. So thank you. I wanted to bring this workshop to you guys. You know, just a little bit about me. My story is that many years ago, somebody slammed me into the back of a semi-truck and I died. So I jumped out of my body. I got to watch the whole experience. I watched my body and the bike hit the back of the parked semi-truck, and I watched the car that pushed my bike into the truck drive away, and I watched the bike bounce out into the street and all that type of stuff. So that began really, although I was a kid that was so in touch with spirit, I lost that as I grew up. And that journey of being slammed into the back of the semi-truck brought me back. It's something that I actually bless. It's a moment that I would never want to change, and it's something I am so grateful for. So many years ago, I had this accident. I shattered my left knee. I split this wrist open. I lost all the nerves in my hand. I cracked 5 vertebrae. I had fibromyalgia and arthritis and asthma. I had to learn how to walk again. I lost my life purpose. I was a dancing prodigy. So I was discovered as a child and put into dance classes, and within a year I was already assistant teaching. I had the body for it. Like there's football player bodies and there's basketball player bodies, right? I was blessed as a child with the dancer body. My hips were turned out, my feet were turned out, I walked like a duck, all that kind of stuff. I could jump really high and really far. That was taken away from me when my leg was shattered. I lost my purpose. I lost who I knew how to be in the world. I lost the vision that I had for my life. And so I had to come back and I had to heal not only my body, but I had to heal my soul. I had to heal my mind that was in a constant state of fear and panic. I called my brain Eeyore. Because I don't know if you remember Winnie the Pooh and Eeyore, but Eeyore was walking around always saying, "It'll never work," right? My Eeyore voice isn't the greatest, but I heard that all the time in my head constantly. "You're not good enough. It's never going to work. You can't do it. It's too hard." That voice that's in the subconscious, that's in the background of our forward life. And so meditation has been something that's become super important for me. It took my brain back from the panic. It took my brain back from the fear. And I've taught meditation many places all over. Have been so blessed to teach in Peru and Spain and Barcelona and Mallorca and Turkey and all these Ireland, all these incredible places. And if you want to connect with me in some way after this, I'm on Facebook. I have my website. My brand's called Convergence Healing. And a few years ago, I was blessed to write my practice, to put a process of my practice into writing and have it bought by Simon & Schuster. So there's so much grace that has been bestowed upon me in my life. And the only reason that's here is because, one, I was willing to accept it. And I was able to tame Eeyore, right? So I'd like to just do a few different meditative practices. When I was asked to come here and do a workshop, I've been teaching a lot, and I've been teaching for many years in many places. And I thought, I don't want to teach what I normally teach. I don't want to teach how to love your pain. I don't want to teach all these other things that I teach, how to heal your life. There's all kinds of stuff that I could teach. I just taught an 8-week class on different topics of the work I do. And I thought, I want to do something different. So you guys are my guinea pigs. I've taught meditation for years, but not in this way. So the first thing I'd like to do is just go through an energy meditation, but this is a challenge. So we're going to get to the challenge. So I'm prefacing that ego mind that's now thinking, what's that? I'm prefacing that mind that wants to figure it out, wants to try and understand, doing all that kind of stuff. And now that that part of your brain has been triggered, I'm going to ask you to say to it, I hear you. And you can wait outside. You'll have enough to think about. You'll have enough when I'm done. All right. So the first little meditation, this is a meditation that was taught to me. It's a Kundalini style meditation. It's a meditation that's really about learning how to harness and cycle your energy. So this specific meditation, there's thousands of meditation styles. They basically all come down to 2 elements. There's the mindfulness meditation and there's a focused meditation. This meditation is actually a focused meditation. We're going to focus on the flow of energy within our bodies. And so for that, I'm going to ask you to take a really deep breath and stretch your arms up like you're scooping up energy. Scoop up all that chi, ka, kundalini, whatever it is, and drop it into your body. And I want you to engage your brain in this process too. So I want you to visualize, imagine, think about as you're scooping up. I want you to visualize, imagine, think about you're scooping up all that energy and you're bringing it into your body, that life force energy, the breath of God itself. Scoop it up. Pour it down your spine, down your head, down into your entire body. And then allow yourself to direct that energy now with your hands as you scoop it up and you see all that energy scooping and scooping and scooping up in your hands and pouring into your body. Bring it to where your body needs that extra energy. Maybe it's your neck, maybe it's your belly, maybe it's your hips or your back. Just keep scooping up a few more times. And again, you could do this sitting down, standing up. I love it. However you want to do it. I just want to engage the brain in like a superhero where the superhero moves their power. They're like gathering. And if they were in a movie, all those special effects would be pulling all that energy, scooping it, and you would see it and let it pour into you. Let your breath be attached to it. So it's a physical experience. It's a breath experience. It's a mind experience. I'm just going to do a few more with you and be quiet as we do it. And just take a moment and pause. This is a movement-based meditation. When I do these types of meditation, it's when my head is spinning and I have a hard time sitting still. And I try to sit for my meditation, but my mind goes all over the place and I get really antsy and I have to move and adjust. By doing that breathing meditation, it's a full body meditation. I want you to really have that thought that if I was doing special effects in a movie, right, and the hero is scooping up the energy because they're going to send it somewhere or something like that, right? They're scooping up that energy and you could see all that energy being scooped up and the color and the movement and all that kind of stuff. Maybe it has a sound to it, right? And I'm pouring it into my body, right? Have as much fun with it as you want. It's a very playful, movement-oriented meditation that involves the mind, the physical body, and your breath. It's a fantastic meditation if anybody has any kind of experience of anxiety. Because when we have anxiety or panic attacks, telling someone to sit still, telling them to stop thinking about all that stuff that they're panicking about is practically impossible. But if you can engage your brain on that thought, I'm scooping that energy, even give it a sound, scoop up that energy, see it in your mind's eye, feel it as you scoop it up and draw it into your body. Give it to any place in your body, your breath, your heart, your hips, your knees, any place at all that needs that. So that's kind of we're not going to do a lot of it, but I wanted to introduce that to you and give you an option because sometimes the meditation that we do dominantly just doesn't work. So to have extra tools to be able to pull out and say, hey, okay, today I'm having a hard time focusing. I need to do a moving meditation. Have you ever heard of the running monks? You guys ever heard of the running monks? They're a order of monks, Buddhist monks, that have been running instead of sitting at 3 in the morning when they wake up. I'm never going to get up at 3 in the morning to meditate. But they get up super early in the morning. They actually put on their jogging shoes and they run instead of sitting for 4 or 5 hours before breakfast. They literally go run for 4 or 5 hours. That meditation that you get into in that run. How many of you ever done jogging or running of some sort? Have you had that experience where your head's spinning, oh my God, it's too cold today, it's too hot, I don't want to do this, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, your brain just calms. It goes into that meditative state. And then you kind of wake up 5 miles later, right? And it's like, oh, I just ran those 5 miles. A moving meditation can be a very powerful meditation. Most of my mission statement in life is to bring wellness. That's my mission statement. And I try to do everything in alignment with that thought. No matter if it's my finances, what I'm investing in, is it bringing wellness? If it's my relationships, the work I do, it must be in alignment with that concept. I'm going to invite you to find your own mission statement or adopt mine. Am I bringing wellness if that's my mission statement in life? So next type of meditation, here I am, and I thought I shut my phone off. I was being so obedient, talking, and when Mark had said that, and I thought, I swear, I did that, but I didn't. Okay. So the next type of meditation is a meditation to cycle energy. This is a meditation if you're ever in need of healing, if you're ever sick, or if you ever feel depressed, or you ever feel down, or any of that type of stuff. It's a lovely meditation to do with a partner, too. If your partner is having a down day or a rough time, and it could be a very intimate experience. So what we do in this is it's built on the idea of energy. That energy, when it's in an open circuit, energy bleeds out. Does that make sense? When energy is in an open circuit, the energy can just go, right? Electricity that's moving through your house is in a closed circuit, right? The energy doesn't disappear. It stays in the lines, and when you need it, you turn it on or you shut it off, right? So a closed circuit meditation is about building energy. And so for a closed circuit, we want to look at the body. And this comes from the practice of Vedic concepts of energy, chi, kundalini, moving through the body. By the way, kundalini, chi, ka, those are all the same thing. I didn't know if you knew that, but they're different cultures' understanding of life force energy. So in this practice, I'm going to ask you to create circuits inside your body. And you know how a lot of times people say, if you're sitting, put your feet solidly apart. We're not going to do that. I'm going to ask you to take your feet and actually cross them at your ankles, and whether you're laying down or sitting, you're closing the circuit by doing that. So the energy isn't going into the earth, which is a lovely meditation and a very powerful meditation to draw energy from the earth, but we're allowing the electrical field of the body to build up. So to cross your ankles or cross your legs is just fine if you're sitting. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take the tongue, and you're going to take your tongue and you're going to put it on the roof of your mouth. There you go. Just like that. What you're doing here is you're closing a circuit. As the energy moves up the body, it can go up the tongue, through the top of the head, and then down the body. So I want you to start visualizing that circuit. Now, the next thing you're going to do with your hands, it's not exactly a mudra, but it's in that tradition. You're going to take your hands and you're going to put them like this, put that first finger together, and put your thumbs together. And so it is a type of mudra, and you're going to let that rest. Now, in this, I want you to take a moment, and I want you to connect with those circuits. See if you can start feeling that energy. My hip, you can't see it, but my hip is starting to bounce. Like I could feel it starting to do this type of thing, right? So tongue on the roof of your mouth, hands in the mudra, ankles crossed. And I want you to visually now see if you can feel or just see that energy as it's cycling through your body. It's almost like it's an infinity sign. If we were to step back and look at the body, right? The energy is going down the legs, crossing over at the knees or the ankles. It kind of crosses over at the hips to the other side, moves up the side, goes down and across the shoulders and the arms, back up through the hands, the fingers touching. It cycles up the front of the body. There's actually 3 circuits that you're creating. There's the circuit of the head, the circuit of the torso, and the circuit of the legs. And the energy can follow each of those circuits, but there's 3 intertwining circuits. And so, Jeff, I'm going to ask you to put some music on. And we're just going to sit in this circuit-like meditation. I'm going to invite you to, in your mind, again, one of the most a very powerful tool in these types of meditations is to see it. To see it, if you were to step back and look at your body, to follow the energy. You know how the doctors put dye in our bodies sometimes, and they follow the dye through the body in different machines that can read that? I want you to do that for yourself. And so, Jeff, put on some music, if you will, and we're only going to do a little 5-minute sit in this. And when you're ready, I'm going to set my clock. Where? Okay. energy. Just keep staying with it. And I want you to notice how that energy is now moving through your body. Observe it. There might be a feeling, maybe a color. Oftentimes we find in doing this type of meditation that the energy circulating through us begins to be refined. It's like sifting something through cheesecloth over and over and over again until you have this beautiful, pure substance. And so as you are cycling this energy through your body, continue to let it refine itself. And bring this very refined energy to any part of you that says, gimme, gimme, gimme. This is bring it here. I like to think of it like ghee. Ghee is clarified butter, and it's high in protein, and it's delicious. And it's been purified over and over and over again. There are people in India who live on ghee only. And so the refining of this energy helps the mind calm. It helps the body find an even flow. And so when you're ready in that awareness, just take a moment and come on back. You can stay seated or laying down, whichever is comfortable for you, but bring yourself back to this moment. And I'd love to hear your observations in what you felt in this different type. I've only met like one or two other people who actually knew how to do this type of meditation over the years. And they were much more masters at it than I was. But this experience of this energy, come on back, and I'd love to hear your experience with it. It's very different than the typical American way of meditating. What did you discover or notice, if anything?
It was a figure 8.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no breaks. It just kept going like a figure 8. It just got lighter. Like I didn't
Oh,
feel it
this is good. We have people online. Would you mind taking the microphone and please? You said it was like watching the energy was like watching a figure 8.
Yeah, like you could, there was just no break. Like it was flowing.
Yeah.
That part where you put your tongue to the roof of your mouth, like I'm always tense in my jaws.
Mm-hmm.
That is so powerful. Mark helped me learn how to do that. And then I didn't necessarily feel it physically, but the light in my, like when your eyes are closed, it was just light. I don't know. You could see the energy or the light changes.
Yeah.
So,
When I meditate, I
for
often,
sure.
when I first close my eyes, there's that darkness that is often there.
Mhm.
And what I think you're referring to is, especially for me in this particular type of meditation, there's a lightness that I start to see, that instead of having my eyes closed and there being darkness, I get a lightness, a color. It's kind of like that circuit. I don't know the science, if there is science behind it, but for me, like as I do it, it's like the energy build up. There's not the darkness anymore. It's more of this beautiful light. It's so super cool that you already felt that.
Yeah.
Anybody else have an observational experience that you want to share?
Well, it was interesting because my imagination was kicked in,
Uh-huh.
like in a really big way. Like I've been thinking about, I had this really wonderful experience at a workshop I did last week, and I recognized the need for play in my workshops. But then I don't know, okay, what am I gonna do? I've already done this, that, and the other, but it's to have that engagement. And all of a sudden, all this stuff just came flooding to me. All these ideas just came flooding to me while we're just doing this little practice. And I even thought for something for Eunice for Sunday.
Nice.
I don't know if she'll want to do it or not, but.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so it's just, I just felt like my imagination was just really kicked in.
Right.
Like these downloads are kind of coming for these things. A practice I did years ago just kind of came, so it's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
That's awesome. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That's fantastic. You know, the energy of life of God is always coming into us. It is always. Deciding how much we want to receive is the conscious choice. And some people have said to me, well, I'm not putting my soles or my feet on the ground. And I said, no, you're not. But it doesn't mean the energy of God is not, or life, chi, ka, kundalini, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't mean it's still not flowing into you. And to have that idea of I'm refining this energy. So if you want, you could do those big scooping energy breaths, right? I'm going to fill myself up, fill myself up, fill myself up. I'm going to fill myself up so much. And then I'm going to refine that energy and then come into that place, right? And I'm going to create those circuits and let that energy flow through me. So that's one type. So there's two different types of different meditations that I've given you today. Now we're going to do part of the challenge. I wanted to call this workshop the meditation challenge because, and if you came here and you didn't realize the challenge, you're in exactly the right place. Spirit said, okay, let's bring it on. Most of us, and when I've taught in the past, we teach meditation and we expect it to be done in these environments that aren't exactly real. We create these little bubbles of perfection, and they're almost outside of the world. And so we take a meditation class in Bali, and we go meditate at this beautiful ashram where nobody talks any louder than that, right? And there's no cars, and there's no people that are loud, and there's no distractions, and it's all this beautiful experience. And I don't want to lessen that experience. These are amazing, gorgeous experiences. And many people I know would do these workshops, and they come back and they say, but I can't do it. I could do it great over there, but I can't do it. And that's because life, especially our average or the general person's, our lives are so full. There's so many things happening, right? We come to the center and everybody's meditating in that room, and that's a beautiful thing, but everybody outside is like, shh, 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 right? And we're kind of stopping life in a very real way. We're saying, hey, no, stop. But not everybody's meditating. And yet we try to dominate the space and say, well, we're meditating. That means everybody else has to, whether you want to or not, right? In real life, there's leaf blowers. In real life, there's loud neighbors. They do, absolutely. Yeah. In real life, there's car horns, there's cell phones, right? Right? There's all of these things. When you can learn how to meditate, and you take on this challenge, and you learn how to meditate in Grand Central Station, then you're really good. Then you've mastered your skill. I can meditate anywhere. To master that skill is pretty awesome. My spirit, my peace, is not reliant on a bubble of purity outside of me. It is something I do and I can do at any moment. But that's also why I have lots of different types of meditation that are in my, one of my sort of heroes is Ram Dass. And Ram Dass wrote a beautiful book called Meditation. And Ram basically, when I read that, I was like, yes, because Ram just said, just meditate. Doesn't really matter how. He had a little bit of a potty mouth. I won't say it, but he was like, it doesn't matter how you meditate. Just go do it. Find the one that works for you. And if that one doesn't work for you anymore, find another one. Right? We get so caught up in the right way to meditate that it becomes a problem. And our ego starts being in charge of our meditations. Our ego that says, God, will those neighbors just stop with that leaf blower? I need to go talk to them. We need to talk to the HOA or whatever it is. Or those people outside need to be more respectful. I can't believe what those people are doing. Why aren't they paying attention? This is meditation time. Right? Our ego gets involved like that. And so in my practice, the ego is something that we call the critical mind. And it's the representative. And its job description is to keep you safe, comfortable, and familiar. That's it. So that anything that's a threat is not safe, comfortable, and familiar and must be stopped. But it also means all those quote, bad things that we don't want to do anymore, those are also safe, comfortable, and familiar. We stay in abusive relationships because it's safe, comfortable, and familiar. We pick up that alcohol because it's safe, comfortable, and familiar. We don't want to do it, but it's what we know. It's the brain, the loops in the brain, right? The patterns, the things that we've done, right? And this part of us that is the critical mind or the ego is going to try and preserve that. So this process we're going to do next was inspired by a different group of monks. For thousands of years, this particular group, and it's an order that's in a very small town, and the people grow up as monks. So from a very early age, the children are put into the monastery, and they grow up in the monastery with the monks. So they know each other very, very well. They're childhood friends. And from a very early age, they do this practice. And the practice is, if you and I were best friends, you would know the buttons to push to piss me off, right? So they push those buttons. So one monk's supposed to meditate, and the other friend's supposed to say, stop it. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Oh, you know this isn't going to work. You remember that thing you were thinking about the other day? Do you remember that, right? And they actually get kind of mean. We're not going to do that. But because they know each other very well and very personally. So the job and what they're taught by the older monks is to get as personal as possible. Those things that really are going to push your buttons and get a reaction, they want you to say that to the other monks who are meditating. And in that experience, can you master your critical mind? Can you master your ego? That ego that wants to stop meditating, that wants to assert, I'm supposed to be meditating and you're supposed to be respecting that, right? That ego that wants to get in charge, right? Ego isn't a bad thing, but it can get in the way at times. And so this is the challenge. I'm going to invite you to meditate any way you like in your practice as best as possible. And I don't have a leaf blower, but my job in doing this is to annoy you. Will you take your practice to a deeper level? That's my challenge. Will you face that part of you that says, I can't do this. Why am I doing this? What did I sign up for? Why did I show up here right now? I wanted to meditate, and it was supposed to be this quiet, nice experience, and I was supposed to have an hour of just being silent.
So I can't cry?
You can cry. You can absolutely cry.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to challenge you, though, to stay with your eyes closed, to stay in that position that you choose for your meditation, any one that you want. I'm going to challenge you to calm your mind, to bring love to that part of you that's simply trying to protect you. That's all the critical mind is trying to do. It's trying to protect us, to keep us safe, to keep us in our old habits, and to eliminate any threats. So, Jeff, if you'll put some music on, and if you will assume your position in any way that you are the most strong or powerful in your meditation, and we'll begin the meditation. Tap into that mind, that thought, that part of you that might want to distract you right now. Jeff, when you're ready, there we go. And I'm going to be silent for a moment so you can establish yourself. And then, I'm speaking to the ego right now, because now the ego is, are you going to put a lot of attention and waiting for me to do something? Or are you going to focus on the meditation? You know, there's that list of things that you have to do, remember? There's all that stuff that's happening. You have all those stuff you really need to get doing. Like, there's all the bills, all the things to pay, the people to talk to. Don't you have all kinds of things to do? There's so much that you have to do right now, isn't there? Oh my gosh, what are you going to do? Do you have time? Do you have money? Do you have the ability to do it? What's going to happen? Are you going to really do it? God, those other people are just so rude. What are they doing? What are they thinking? Why are they here? I came here for this. I didn't come here for this. I came here to meditate. Why are they doing? Will you please stop it? Just stop it. Stop it. Stop it. sacred experience, I'm inviting you to say thank you. With the distractions, with life happening, with egoic thoughts whispers in your ears, leaf blowers blowing on you. With all of those things, you have now stretched your muscles. You have expanded your skill. And you have deepened your practice. I encourage you the next time you meditate and something bothers you, like a leaf blower or a loved one in the house or the phone ringing or somebody outside, I invite you to bless that experience and to take on the challenge to go deeper, to connect within deeper, to love deeper. Thank you for being part of my journey. Thank you for blessing me with sharing this experience. Come back in the room, give yourself a good deep breath. Tune into this moment, and when you're ready, open your eyes, give yourself a good stretch, pat yourself on the back, job well done. And I'm sure this was a bit of a surprise. I'm sure you didn't expect any of this. And I'd love for you to share with us what that ego did, how it responded or reacted. I would love to hear your experience. If you don't, yeah, great, awesome.
Share your name too, if you'd like.
My name is Paul, and thank you so much. I'm so glad that I came tonight. It was a very interesting experience in person. And when you first said the challenge, I said to myself, challenge accepted. And I've been meditating for a few years now, and that would have intimidated the heck out of me when I first started.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so grateful. And like you said, it's a practice. And so grateful for meditation teachers like yourself and Mark and those on Insight Timer. But Jeff's music, beautiful music, really helped me stay in the moment. And I chose a one-word mantra to repeat to myself. I originally chose serenity, but then I decided that had too many syllables. And so I went with peace. And I just breathed deeply and went peace, peace, peace.
Right.
And the only time you got me out of it was with the leaf blower. And I thought, is that a leaf blower or is that a hair dryer? And I couldn't hear Jeff's music. And okay, so you got me on that one. But it was a fascinating thing to experience. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Did anybody have a battle in their head with their ego or anything like that? Sort of those conversations, or go ahead.
No, I didn't. My name's Debbie, and I really enjoyed that. You only got me like on the first bang or whatever. I noticed my body jumped, but then all I was doing was focusing on my breath.
Beautiful.
And it didn't matter what bells were ringing or blowers were going. I just was feeling my breath, and I felt like I was kind of like in a dance with it. I really dug it. I liked it a
Beautiful.
lot.
Isn't that what meditation teaches us with life, is to be in
Yeah.
the dance with it,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah, thank
love
you.
that,
It was great.
absolutely.
Hi, I'm Margot,
Hey, Margot.
and I agree with Debbie. I thought it was amazing. I'd never done anything like that, so it was a really great challenge. But the thing that really got me was how you described it at the end, when you said, consider blessing that distraction. So I started thinking of the landscape guy outside doing the blower or the mower or the edger or whatever, and just blessing him for what he does and putting into that person or that distraction, whatever it is, that baby crying or whatever, when you're in Grand Central Station, of love, and that they realize their divinity and brilliance, and sending that to them. And that, I've never looked at it that way before, so thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.
So, thank you for, because I've been meditating for a long time, and yet there was something about that combination of crossing and then doing the mudra. I've never heard of that before, closing the circuit. Wow, the moment you did it, I just went. It's like,
Awesome.
and then in the distraction one, everything just kept getting absorbed into this ocean of peace. And only once did I kind of get a little bit jarred, but I didn't jerk, is when you whispered really close to my ear. And I thought, but then I went into just observing. It's like, isn't that interesting that was the proximity, just like, but it didn't distract me as much as it just was a point of awareness. It was so weird, and normally I cannot hold the zone that long, and I think it's that something, it just like locked me in. It just went.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the fastest I've ever got to center.
Beautiful.
It just was. And I thought, whoa, I'm gonna adopt that in my. So thank you for
Oh,
that. That was
awesome.
great. I've never heard that combination. Wow.
That's great. Cool. We only have 2 other people. Did either one of you want to say anything?
Hi, it's Kim. Yeah, it's awesome because in the beginning, and you just, it's just like, okay, we're just gonna meditate, and I really tuned into the music, and it took me to an ice skating rink, and so that long, was just them skating through the rink, and so your leaf blower was actually like that feeling.
Of the
like
wind.
that it was me, and that the wind, as you're skating. But yeah, when I felt initially when you started making the noises and stuff, I felt my heart change. Like, you know what I mean? I could feel my heartbeat more, and I could feel my breath changing. And so I just went back to just focused on my breath. So I think I did pretty good with all of that. But yeah, it's interesting because there was a point where I was just thinking like, okay, I'm thinking about,
Right.
not letting it distract me. So then it was just take a deep breath.
Right.
So, so I lost that moment but when you were quiet, I could go right back to being the skater on
Beautiful.
the ice rink,
Beautiful.
So I do visual stuff sometimes, so.
Great.
Yeah, so my name's Cameron, and I'm still kind of processing. That was really a lot to take in because I actually meditate every day, and I meditate about a full hour a day, and it's always in pure silence. And so to have the music here was a real change for me, and the music both times really stirred up kind of a lot of emotion, for me. I just felt a lot of things kind of come up, and kind of a lot of emotions, and then with the with the guided meditations, and that really even threw in a twist too, because I kind of felt myself kind of going into a trance, kind of a trance state of really, almost even kind of being, relaxed and kind of falling asleep, just a very relaxed, comfortable state. And then, and then all of a sudden throwing the things in there. And so yeah, it was, it was something totally different. So yeah, I'm still trying to process it, but it was,
That's awesome.
it was great. So
Cool.
thank you.
Cool, thanks. So as we wrap up, my next challenge to you is something that a lot of us, even religious people, spiritual people, in the old days we would talk about the person that goes to church. And they're good at church, or they do their thing at church, but they don't bring church back into their world, right? And the same happens with spiritual people, same happens with meditators. We're really skilled at meditating in those moments, right? Where we give ourselves this bubble to work in, to live in, to breathe in, to meditate in, right? And oftentimes we don't walk into the world what the meditation is teaching us to have that ability to be calm in Grand Central Station, to have that ability of finding our center even if we're upset, right? To saying, I choose love even as I'm in conflict, right? So I'm inviting you to take the next step, and that is to bring the spirit of your meditation, the learnings, the skills, the things that you are practicing, to bring those into the world, because the world needs you right now. The world needs more of that experience of being at the spiritual place, whether it's here or whether it's inside of you, to walk that into life. Can I bring this focused attention to a difficult moment, to a difficult conversation? Can I bring this love, this ability where I just found that peace? Can I now walk that into life? And my last question for you is a series of questions. If I am in peace in my meditation, what does it look like to walk that into the world? What does it feel like in my spine, in my neck? What's the sound of my voice, even in conflict, as I speak from that place of peace? What's the color of it, the temperature of it, the texture of that peace? If it's plush and warm, can I speak? Can I connect? If the understanding of peace is plush and warm, can I speak and connect in that plush warmth? Can I hear that warmth, that softness in my voice? Even as maybe I'm setting a boundary, or I'm saying no, or I'm having a conflict. Does that make sense? To walk this practice in the world. And to share these meditations, these very simple 3 meditations, right? The scooping up, I'm using my mind, I'm visualizing, imagining, I'm thinking about, I'm using all the parts of me, my physical body, my mental body, my spiritual body. I'm scooping up that energy. The closed circuit meditation, where I'm allowing the energy within me to refine itself. And then that meditation, when you're out in some busy place, you're in the grocery store, take a moment just to pause for a minute in the grocery store aisle and bring yourself to that place, or the parking lot. Bring your meditation out of that space, that sacred space, that's beautiful that you do that there, and bring it into the rest of the world. Or the heat. Yeah? Bless the heat. And so thank you so much, Day. It's just, I'm so happy to see you guys. I really appreciate you, and namaste.
Thank you so much, Peter. That was, thank you so much.
Microphone.
Oh, there we go. So thank you, Peter. Wow, that was really amazing. We really got us thinking tonight, and what a practice, right? To incorporate that in the middle of the chaos and dramas. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So thank you so much to give us that gift to take with us. I love that. So yeah. So come next week. We're going to have Jeff Kingfisher's going to be here. Invite all your friends. He does an amazing chakra balance. Oh, I forgot about you people. Sorry, people. Didn't mean to forget about you. So yeah, come next week. Join us on Facebook or YouTube, or come here if you can. So have a beautiful week, and we'll see you all soon. Take care. Thanks. Bye. Thanks again.